Hi, this is Ivan, and you are listening to Ivancast podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Music Discovery podcast series. I'm glad to be back. I took a little break. I was on vacation, and I am also working really hard here on the studio. I'm trying to build a professional podcast studio here in the jungle, in the middle of nowhere, high tech. So that's what I'm trying to do, I guess. I'm trying to combine high tech and nature and see what comes around. This is what I always wanted to do, actually. I remember when I was a teenager and I discovered hip hop. That sound was just so futuristic to me that I always thought, man, wouldn't it be nice to talk to all those rappers and producers and get to know them and hear all of their thoughts and ideas and how they produce the music. But it it was impossible at that time. The dream was so big. We didn't even have internet you know. But now, all of a sudden, that's what I'm doing, right? I am documenting this whole process of discovering music on the web, and I just love it. I am documenting the sound of our time, of this generation, and it's just so cool to talk to the people that are making the music. And my guest today is one of those incredibly talented artists that I discovered on the web. And I can't wait to also show you some of the videos and photos of the studio here, because I'm getting closer to what I always wanted, right? So I guess I'm living the dream. So thank you for sticking around. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Even though I haven't posted episodes in the last few weeks, people are still listening to the podcast. So that's incredibly cool. Thank you very much again. By the way, the music you are listening right now in the background is from Victor from Hungary. Victor is also a friend of mine, and he is a music producer and illustrator, and he has a very cool tropical vibe on his account on Instagram. Go and check it out. Chicha Sika Music, that's how you find him. So thank you, Victor, again. Hi, Hungary. Thank you very much for your music. And without further ado, enjoy this very nice conversation with my good friend, my amigo, Gigi Santella. Ladies and gentlemen, Gigi Santella on the show. Please subscribe to this podcast anywhere you can listen to podcasts. Just choose your favorite podcast application and hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoy one of my episodes, feel free to share it with your friends and family. And now, the conversation with Gigi Santella. Right, Gigi, welcome
Good
to.
morning. Good morning, Ivan.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being part of this little web show here.
I really enjoyed
Yeah,
your show. I probably listened to about 6 or 7 episodes
really?
yesterday, and I
Oh,
was just
awesome.
blown away by your ability to ask perfect questions.
Thank you
So
so much.
you
I
really
have a
nice one.
great, yeah, I have a great audience in Argentina, and I think you live there, right? Am I right, Gigi?
Oh, lived and nearly almost died there. Yes, but
Oh,
yes.
yeah,
No. Argentina is like my soul of places to be. I'm not from
yeah,
there, but it's a it was like a homecoming kind of going there, because it's like
yeah,
you go to Italy and you expect Italians to treat you. It's an Italian, but
yeah.
Argentines, they truly did. They open arms and made friends within 2 minutes, and
Absolutely.
yeah.
Do you have Italian roots?
Yeah, both my parents are very Southern
Both of your
Italian,
parents.
Sicilian, yeah,
All right.
and
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Napolitana, and
Yeah.
yeah, both sides. I'm a Santella on one side. My mother is Santucci.
Hmm. But you were born in LA, or
Oh no, 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 no. Born,
no?
we're born mostly Massachusetts. We can say for now,
All
for
right.
let's say for legal things,
Hmm.
and yeah, for the Pacific North, no, Pacific Northwest, no, the New England. New England is the place. Yeah, my friend.
All right.
Yeah,
Cool. 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 And then you spent how many years in Argentina?
probably about six total, 6 or 7
6.
total. Yeah, my friend. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Cool. Cool. That sounds awesome. So
Y-
I was listening to Little Hand,
Mhm.
and it's such a nice song. It's there is so much soul in it. So
Thank you, my
much
friend.
feeling in your music. Where does this love for soul music come from? Is it?
It's specifically one place. So when I was a young kid, we lived almost in the middle of nowhere, and there was like maybe 3 or 4 radio stations that were even
Yeah. Oh,
coming
right.
in,
Okay.
right?
I
And
see. Uh huh.
so I was listening to this radio station that's called WARE 1200 AM. Big J Fink. He's still one of my absolute idols on earth.
Uh
I
huh.
tried to
Uh
get
huh.
him to do some like reading on the like some voiceover on the record, and he
Uh
just
huh.
was like $7,000. I was like, oh, come on, man, you're only fan on earth.
All right.
And so they just would play just basically this but not just like the classics, like B-sides all day. And I thought that music
Mhm.
was current, you know? I thought that was
Yeah.
new music. And it was very heartbreaking to find out the other way. But no, no, I just adore that kind of style and that kind of feel, and it just feels like summertime, and
Yeah.
it's like
Absolutely.
I know
Yeah.
you're on
Yeah.
the equator, so you don't know
Yeah.
that, but it's I don't know if you're familiar with the Jonathan Richman song, that Summer Feeling. That's like every time
A
it's
little bit.
getting warm in June, and it's and
Yeah.
the sun's shining down, and it's just this very specific sensation
Mhm.
of soul.
Absolutely.
Soul music is the way to feel it,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
the sound of 10,000 bra straps coming unsnapped at
Absolutely.
once. Yes.
Yeah. I felt in love with soul music, funk, and African American music pretty
You
much.
guys like it more than the people here, man. It's amazing. It's down in South
Yeah.
America. It's like he's such a fan, and
Absolutely.
and half the time they're not connecting with the lyrics, which to me makes even is
Yeah.
the most lovely thing that could ever happen.
Yeah. But in my case, it all began because I went to Germany. I studied there. I
Hmm.
studied English philology, so I had this
Mm.
this American history courses and stuff. No, and then
That's just
yeah, yeah,
slavery. Yeah,
yeah, I really, and then I really got into that music, and I
yeah.
fell in love. And
In Germany, yeah, because they had like from the World War II, they had the radio stations still left over from the bases and stuff, right? They were
yeah,
still doing it. That's crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Y-
Yes, it's amazing. I mean, your music, it really sounds like timeless to me. I can hear
Oh man,
even
thank you, thank you, thank you.
gospel.
Oh, there is a lot of that in there, and that's like mostly
Absolutely.
thanks to my lovely human beings that have graced my life. Most of that record that is like a to me to listen to it sounds like the loneliest human being on earth. Like I started making that
Absolutely.
record when I just come back after like 10, 12, almost 12 years outside of the country, right? And
Yeah.
so I basically came back as the economy like completely was devalued in Argentina and like had
Oh.
absolutely nothing to show, and luckily
Hmm.
had a very sweet friend who like put me up for a couple weeks before I could find a job and stuff. And
Hmm.
that was just me doing the songs and going to the studio for the first time. And I moved to Portland, Oregon, and it's like the cheapest place on earth for studio time. And like, it was just me by myself doing everything, every instrument alone. And it just
Yeah.
sounds so,
Yeah.
to hear it now sounds so sad, but that's,
Do you do you also sing, Gigi,
I
or
do.
you
So
just?
on Little Hand, that's
Yeah.
me singing on that one,
All
and
right. Uh-huh.
and most of the other the record I'll sing mostly on. But like I started putting out the more newer singles before that, just because I'm so excited about them, and you
Hmm.
know, and I don't know. There's just so much, so many projects going that are just so I don't know. I love them all so much. And they're all so different that I'm just trying to confuse the algorithm a little bit. I think like the song that will come out in September is like going to be it's like almost like a completely folk instrumental, traditional, like
Wow. Okay.
almost
Cool.
Irish sounding, but it's very kind of Sicilian, Southern Italian kind of. It's this bone flute
Nice.
that like was one of the first things they ever found that has like a
Hmm.
pentatonic scale on it, and it's just I wrote the song in this weird tuning on the guitar so I could just solo over the top of
Uh-huh.
the thing with the flute thing.
Oh, nice.
It
Oh,
sounds
nice.
very good, man. It's very nice. But it's
Yeah,
all
yeah,
soul music. To me, that's like that's the soul music too. It's just moving and
yeah,
it's just pushing you through, pushing through the horrible times
yeah.
and making you slow down during the good ones. Like right now, it's a good one. I should slow down because I talk really fast.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I listened to your whole album. You sent me the link, right? Thank you very much
Yeah, and
for
you're probably the second
the.
person that's not band friendly to hear it. What was your
Oh,
opinion of that, my
thank you.
friend?
Yeah, yeah,
Because I have
and
no clue, no clue what
I,
that
you
is at
know,
this point. It's so
yeah,
personal.
I was preparing this conversation, and I listened to your whole album, and I really couldn't stop but start thinking about my pretty much my whole life, pretty stream of consciousness,
You
uh,
got that thing, man, that I
yeah,
tried to make it cornerstones because understand there was probably about 25, 30, 40
mm,
songs that I wanted to
yeah,
be on that, but I understand the listener
yeah.
has some sort of patience to
It
deal with.
was really
But yeah, the
kind of
cornerstones of like the growing and like falling in love, falling in lust,
yeah,
missing
yeah,
home and being away from home, and then like
yeah.
you losing it all.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, and you know why? Because I can relate to what you maybe experienced. Because I also lived 12 years in Germany, and
it's so
I came
strange,
back
man.
I
It's so
came back
strange.
to Ecuador, and
And you
I
don't even
didn't
know
know
who
where.
you are. You're a foreigner all of a sudden. It's
Yeah,
the strangest
yeah,
thing. And I mean, I'm a
yeah.
like first generation person, so it's like I'm always a foreigner, anyways. But it's like no, no, I could barely. I still do it because I speak Spanish all day at work.
Yeah.
Um, but now my Castellano is turning into more Mexican loveliness. But it's like I could not speak it in an accent and stuff, and see my family. They're like, "What the hell?" Like, there's everyone's. But as you get lost in it, because it wasn't living like the expat life. It was,
Absolutely.
working
Yeah,
in a kitchen there. It was not a
yeah,
tourist at all. It was
yeah, yeah.
really working very hard and like having the greatest time. The
Hmm.
most lovely human beings on earth are live in Argentina.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's what I also
Open
kind of.
hearts and arms always for
Mm,
everyone. If you got a good soul. But
sure, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. That's maybe something I wanted to talk about.
yeah.
This emotional journey, so to say, when you live
Oh
in
yeah,
abroad.
yeah.
How what was your approach when you wrote this album? What you're thinking
So
about?
the
And
album, let's say I started writing it with a really dear friend of mine down there, right? And
Mhm.
I love ESL, English as second language is the most genius lyrics because that's like it's breaking it down. And so
Yeah.
I would make him tell me what I was saying, like, my shitty Spanish, tell me what I'm saying, like in English.
Mhm.
And so it was like a telephone game. And so we're just kind of trying to get like what I would call like a street feel to songs, And so I just when I write music, I just walking, man. I'm a man of perpetual motion, like and just walk. And if my favorite
Yeah.
day is where I got enough of the raw material in my head organized that I can go on a walk and I know I can like kind of finish it. And that's like I love to do the like prose writing and stuff too, but it's song you can keep them organized in your head because of the tonal qualities to it, right?
Mhm.
And so during that time, I lost this probably the closest friend I'll ever have in my life, and I
Oh.
lost him in a pretty horrific way.
Mhm.
And yeah, pretty. I say pretty like it's a good word. Traumatizing experience that I probably still haven't fully gone through
Mhm.
completely. I
Mhm.
haven't completely like metabolized it
Mhm.
yet,
Mhm.
and yeah, so that's the Grand Street Ruins. It was just like almost like Nueve de Julio in Argentina. It's like that huge street, and we just
Yeah.
always call it like Calle Grande, but also it
Mhm.
came like a big street. It's like a big dreams, big thing, but we're the ruins of that. And that's like what Buenos Aires seems to be like all the time. It's just like was so perfect at one moment, and then just crumbles, and then build it and crumble. And
Mhm.
mostly the Southern European, African, South American, like everywhere but the States, goes through these cycles.
Yeah.
And no, so it's just losing. This whole record is survivor's guilt. That's like that's all it is, and
Mhm.
it's trying to tell the story from going really, really fast and really having so much fun and just feeling like so like you belong somewhere to like complete isolation to you don't even recognize the
Yeah.
place in like gentrification and all this stuff, and not in a political way, but just in like going to see some place that meant something to you, and it's like a
Yeah.
hotel and
Yeah.
all these things. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I tried to cast that one like it was all me on everything, and then like when
Yeah.
I got back to the States and got settled, I like wanted to do it
Yeah.
more almost as a like a movie, like a Mean Streets, like a Scorsese Mean Streets,
Yeah.
like casting characters. So like a lot of the voices and stuff that it
Yeah.
chose to use in it are just because that's
Yeah.
what it's
Yeah.
supposed to sound like, so it sounded like
Yeah.
in my head. Yeah.
And that's what I love it too, because it's also so much fun listening to it. There is flamenco there, gospel, right?
Yes, yeah, you got
Even
you got that,
even
man.
even rock and roll, right?
It's a little bit of
Uh,
there, but you know what? There's
yeah,
not on there guitar. There's hardly
guitar,
any guitar on that record at all,
yeah, and
which is very
and
strange.
and I wanted to maybe to tell us a little bit about the story behind this song, "Windling Flame." You
Dwindling
know,
Flame.
"Windling Flame."
Oh,
Yeah,
so I'm sure everybody has had a hard couple of years these
uh-huh.
years, but
Yeah,
yeah. So this I like strange thing happened with the COVID thing, and the first wave of it is like a lot of people
yeah,
who were working in the service industry lost their jobs, but the ones who didn't ended up working like hundreds of hours for almost nothing,
uh-huh.
for the same
Yeah,
price. It's expected to carry like a company on your back. And
uh-huh.
because of this thing, and because it's Los Angeles and it's just go, 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 it's like I got very estranged from my wife. Like she lost who I was. She didn't see who I was. I lost who I was, and I was just drifting, drifting, drifting for a minute, and
Uh-huh.
drifting to a point where I was working so much, man, that like I got misdiagnosed some medication for this like blood disorder I have, and I basically went into cardiac arrest, and like I woke up
Well,
in a hospital as a new human being. Like, what the hell have I done to my life? And like just a so dwindling flame was just it was written as the saddest, like almost saddest white boy, like crying around the kind of whatever freaking thing, man. Like it was just crying, whining song, right? And Jeanette, who you hear like on a couple of the Grand Streets, like she's got that big, huge, booming voice at the end of the record. She was always telling me about her father and her father, and like who her father's just this crazy character. We would get along so well. And one day she brings him to the studio, and she brings him. He's like 75 years old. He brings his whole singing group from like high school with him, right? And they're like six dudes all showing up ready to work, ready to be paid, ready to eat food, and cranky like, oh man. And so they put me on the spot to like just make this song happen really fast, and that's the quickest I ever got a song done and through from idea to nothing. And they took it and made it from a whining song to like a defiantly in your face, like it's one of the most. I wish I didn't write it so I could talk about how much I love it more. You know what I'm saying? Like it's Ivan, can I ask just how you heard this music? How did you find it? Oh, the ads worked. They worked. Oh man, it's so great. It really is sometimes, and sometimes I'm just like I have no idea what it's doing at all. But
yeah, I discovered you on
yeah,
Instagram.
I'm
Yeah,
so new
and
to it. Like I just got it just for Dwindling Flame.
yeah,
Like that's when I
and
started Instagram.
and that's what I wanted to ask you also. So when did you start posting stuff on the internet? I think
Just for
it's
that, yeah.
relatively new. Yeah, no.
I had Facebook because I think when it was strange because when I went to South America, they had Facebook before anybody else did, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, like, and they were like,
yeah,
you have to get it because back then nobody had cell phones really, and so that's how
yeah,
everyone was talking all the time,
yeah,
unless you wanted to call mom on the landline. And so,
yeah,
and that was it. Yeah, so I got it for that. But like, and then it's just it's just talking to friends and family there. But then yeah, it's just
yeah, yeah,
you have to make a choice sometimes. You're just like, because I'm just
yeah,
very not that type of person.
yeah.
But it's fun. It's fun, it's something,
Absolutely, yeah.
to understand it as a challenge, and if like you really believe in
Absolutely.
the craft and what you're doing, like you have to
Mhm,
do it. You have
mhm,
to do it.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
Otherwise, you're just, doing
Yeah.
it for the people in the band who probably didn't even listen to the song. It's
Absolutely. No,
like,
no, no, no. I love it. My feed is full of new music, so it's really cool because I do the podcast, and
good for
the
you, man.
algorithm
Good for
knows,
you. And you,
Instagram knows what I'm doing.
yeah.
So,
And tell me about your German experience, my friend.
my German experience, it was cool. It was a brilliant experience. It's sure for sure. I loved it too. But after so long, I also started hating winter. I don't like
Oh
cold
yeah,
weather anymore.
once you come to Los Angeles, oh yeah, and where you are, no, you can't. Like it's today, it's probably 79 degrees, and I
Yeah.
have a
Oh,
sweater on.
nice.
I have a sweater on though. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
cold. It's cold.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? Cool.
yes,
Yeah.
it's
That's
freezing now.
why.
But I grew up in New England, where I should be used to because
Mhm.
snowstorms and horrible
Yeah.
things that happen there.
No, no,
Um,
it's really cold,
yeah,
and it's not only like just sometimes you have like 6 or 7 months a year of cold
and
weather.
then
So
depending where you were, it's like sometimes just
yeah,
the awful
I was
drizzling rain, right?
in the north, yeah. So
Yeah,
pretty cold,
in
yeah.
Bavaria North, that
Um,
side.
no, no, north, really north,
Really north.
Hamburg.
Oh, okay. You're
So
in nice
yeah,
business. I think I went through there once. Cologne is the one I remember the most of any
yeah,
place.
yeah.
Berlin,
Cologne is cool.
I love, but
Yeah,
it's but I'll
Berlin is
say
nice. Yeah.
Germans best roommates I ever had in my life.
Yeah.
consistently. Always so
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
at being roommates, flatmates. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
great at it.
Yeah. 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 It's cool for sure. And yeah, so you're putting one single every month now, right?
Yeah, because I really have so much music. I've been
Hmm.
recording for probably the past 6 years and haven't released a single thing. So it's some of it's really new, some of it's really old, and all of it is really good. I would say
Hmm.
because paying for recording music, especially in Los Angeles, if you're not doing it at home, which I really can't because it's I live in a crowded apartment building and I have a lot of strings and horns, and so it's
Yeah.
you had to make very long, hard decisions about this is the one that's going to go forward and this is the one that's not, and yeah,
Hmm.
so we got this like really super kind of like very like Chet Baker kind of jazz EP that's going to be started
Hmm.
to come out in October, and then we have
Oh,
just like
nice.
almost traditional folk music, like but instrumental stuff coming out
Cool.
because I
Cool.
love playing music, but I rarely get to do it, because the people that I hire are so good that there's it's
Yeah.
if
There.
they I can't get in there, so it's
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
very
You
nice.
were. Yeah, you were telling me the story behind Dwindling Flames. Do you
Yes,
remember?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we can
So
continue with
where
that.
where did you meet all those people, the
So
singers? And
Johnette,
it's so
Johnette
cool.
is the singer that's on a lot of the Grand Street stuff, and I was using her as a session musician. But then we just became really good friends. And she's a lovely
Yeah.
human being. She's just raised in Compton. She just got her daughter, her first person in their family, to go to college into Oregon State, man, which is the most lovely thing on earth that
Cool.
I ever heard in my life.
Mhm.
Um, and so she's telling me about her father's this crazy character, and we're gonna get along so well. And it was unfortunately very true. And so he shows up to the studio with like six dudes who are expecting to each get paid off. Like I'm very I live like a monk, and 'cause I
Mhm.
love the art, and so I keep it pretty
Cool.
frugal. And
Yeah.
so he just basically hijacked my life, and I
Mhm.
have I have about four missed phone calls and voicemails from him right now. And yeah, but he inspires me. He keeps me on my deadlines. He keeps me make sure I'm doing
Yeah.
things, and like and he just brought his crew of people he's been singing with since like the
Oh,
70s. And
wow.
when I tell you I was rehearsing, I was having vocal rehearsals in my apartment building, and when I tell you the fist fights, like food fight, everything was happening. They are passionate about it, and five singers in a room at any time is like one of the most ridiculous things.
Yeah.
After the couple of songs we did all of them together, they're split off into almost fractions. So I get two at a time, and I do give them a song and give them the songs. But they're just such talented voices, and like it'll be a
Mhm.
goddamn shame if the world doesn't hear what they're doing, because they are so good, so good, so powerful, and like the world a lot of the time is like really, really working against them. Like, and
Mhm. Mhm.
you got to be computer savvy, you got to be all these things to just get your music even heard these days, and they're 100 times more talented than I am, and I'm just blessed to get the chance to work with them. And I think we're bringing them like the best material possible for them, though, because I understand each of their
Yeah.
voices. And Johnny, for me, when I heard him sing, was like the voice of God, and that's like why he's on that last song on Grand Street. It's like he's just echoing this like fearful like narration from this really high perspective, and he's a absolute maniac, and he keeps me
That's
young,
so
and
amazing. Mhm.
keeps me very young, keeps me on my toes, and keeps me not getting away with bullshit songs.
That's just so amazing. And what kind of music did you grow up listening to?
I grew up listening to, you name it, my friend. I'm a sucker for a story. So if it's got a
Mhm.
storyline, I am hooked. So I loved country music, even like the '90s Garth Brooks stuff when I was a kid, because it was I follow the story. My grandfather, and unfortunately, you don't find these things out until you're they're much gone. But my father tells me last time I saw him, he's like, your grandfather, he wouldn't listen to a record without horns on it because it
Mhm.
was a waste of time and money. Like, and so you inherit these things that you don't even realize where. And like then his father, like this is I don't know if you heard this one. This is just like a straight traditional Italian processional piece of music that I my uncle who passed away last year, he gave me one page of a sheet of music, and I saw the name Nico Santella on the signed on it, the composer, and I
Mhm.
had no idea anyone in my family was musically inclined at all. We sing and have fun, but it's more like the drunken reverie than anything. And it was like the biggest, like, kiss on the cheek I could have ever received in my life, and ancestral warmth I felt just knowing someone else was even trying to do that. Like, 'cause and then so I just wanted to finish that piece of music for him, even though it was finished. It just one page remained, so it took me on a journey of
Mhm.
just harmonics and understanding how different types of horns work. And
Mhm.
yeah, there's bass trombones on there. It's like it was such a passionate thing, and I was doing it for my family, and so excited for them to, like, hear it. And they're just like, oh yeah, this is how,
Mhm.
like, yeah. But my families are my biggest supporters at all. My sister has probably like 16 Spotify
Awesome.
accounts to listen to my stuff, and like, yeah, it's good because it was gone for so long, and they took me back with open arms like Italians tend to do, but they didn't have to, And they're sweethearts.
Cool. And did you learn Spanish before you went to Argentina
I
or
knew Italian, right? So
Italian? Right. Right.
Castellano was easy, it's
Yeah.
easier than, let's say when I was in Brazil for a couple years too, and that was a bit of a challenge. But though when I lived in Portugal for a while when I was really young, I like to, when I tell stories, that I'm almost 40 years old and I've been traveling since I've been like 16 years old. But
Yeah.
so I've been a lot of places, but Portuguese in Portugal pretty easy. But got to some outskirts of Brazil. It's like, oh my goodness. I was in
Yeah.
Salvador de Bahia for a minute, and it was probably my favorite place I ever lived in my life. I guess I'm such a huge
Cool.
Caetano Veloso fan, and
Really cool.
yeah, he's my absolute idol, man. He's my idol. Yeah, it's like a gentle Bob Dylan, and it's in your
Hmm.
face with everything, and he's just
Nice.
something to look
I,
up to.
and you were telling me you also went to the Amazon region, right?
Yes, I gotta tell you,
Any travel stories from there?
I remember eating this fish that had human teeth. That's
Oh, all right.
and that's no, it had like a jaw, and like had actually looked like it had dentures in its mouth, and the guy just pulled it up for
Oh,
there. And I can remember seeing
yeah.
a. I just felt that it was living hell.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's so beautiful. Let's say like the only time I could actually see it, but it was so touristy because the Iguazu, right? Like, and it's like still not even really Amazon. But
Mhm.
it's just like the forests where I'm used to, or like the European ones, the New England ones. They've been cut down and grown, and they're so tame. To see the real wild and the real indifference of nature towards you as a human being was, it was a lot. It was a lot,
Yeah.
especially at a
Yeah.
time where I was like in my Saturn and return and like on kind of a downward spiral. It was just everything seemed sharp and poisonous, but it was such an experience. I can still remember leaving on the bus and being so sunburned and no air conditioning on the bus and going over these hills for like probably about 18 hours. Oh,
Oh,
pain of agony, but it was, I don't know, it's so, I don't want to say mystical because I don't want to whitewash it at all, but it's just something,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
is there, and it's everything is probably there, right? Answer to absolutely everything is probably in there somewhere. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the volume, my God, it's like being at a family party. It's like you wake up and everyone is angry, like screaming, ready to mate, ready to fight, ready to everything, man. It's great.
Yeah, yeah. The answer to everything is maybe here. And I'm also, I'm living now for 5 years here in the Amazon region. I never thought I will ended up living here.
Because are you from there or not from there in
No, I'm
Ecuador?
not from here. I'm from the
No,
I'm from the
crazy.
I'm from the capital city,
Yeah,
Quito. But
yeah.
but again, when I came back from Germany, I felt very weird being in a big city again, and it's also cold.
And did you
So I
feel some German? You were a little too German too, so you had to go
yeah,
really
I
into the heart of the jungle.
yeah, I felt Germanized also.
Me too.
And when you are from Germany, you don't necessarily want to live in a big city again.
Yeah,
A
it's
big
funny.
cold
I
city.
think being in Los Angeles has made me like
Yeah,
way more of a Guido than I've ever been in my life, just because there's not
yeah,
many here, and like it's so you end up like overcompensating. I think a lot
yeah,
of the time,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so it's nice
So
though.
then I started volunteering at this rescue center here in the Amazon region. That's how I
For
was started.
animals,
Yeah, yeah, for animals. Yeah,
oh, that's
just
so nice.
voluntarily. I will drive every weekend to this center here, and then I just
You fall in love, yeah,
yeah, pretty much.
yeah. That's what
Pretty much.
happens, man.
I decided I want to live here and have a podcast too.
Yeah, I love this idea though, my friend. And
Yeah,
you seem
it's
like a
pretty cool.
person that's really not hiding. You seem at peace because a lot of the people that I meet in this situation, they're just like, nursing something that's very broken inside of
Yeah,
them. You
yeah,
sound very
yeah.
happy and very pleased with it.
Absolutely. I
And
mean,
yet,
in this. crazy times we're living in. It's like
You're in the best place.
you
All the
gotta have a
medicine.
balance, right? Yeah, sure, for
What's
sure.
going on down there with the vaccines and stuff like that? Is it crazy?
I think we are pretty much 80% of the population is already being vaccinated. Yeah, yeah. I've got
I'm
my
not going to open up
shot.
political doors, so this
Yeah,
is just curious. And like everyone
yeah.
back to normal, kind of there.
Yeah, kind of, kind of. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, pretty much, pretty much.
it's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
nice, very nice.
How about you? Have you
It was
have
very
you
hard.
got vaccinated?
It's very hard for me to say because, like, during the when everyone was in their quiet time, I was like the busiest I've ever been in my entire life, and like
Yeah.
so much work and like the last man standing, pretty much. And then now it's just kind of like everyone is just pretty much wanting to, party always here, but I'm not very much into that world. And
Mm-hmm.
so, but just I think the young kids who moved and got robbed of their LA experience, whatever that means for them, and they just in West Hollywood, which is like the more of the gay center of Los Angeles. It's like you have to show your like card at the door if you're going to go inside there,
Mm-hmm.
which is very funny because I know I'm going to open this door. Let's not do it. This is a rule. No music
Yeah.
and politics because everyone's got
Yeah,
different
yeah. No,
opinions.
I don't like to talk about politics on my podcast either. It's just
Yes.
a fun little place to talk about nonsense sometimes.
Nonsense is very important, my friend.
Yeah,
I've
for sure.
relearned, like getting my health back. I've relearned to know how fun it is to just be silly and just be,
Yeah,
goofy, and it's
yeah,
all
yeah,
you have to do.
yeah. I ask myself if sometimes we're taking everything also too serious,
We are
pretending to,
because it's like
like, are we living the most crucial time in human history? I don't think. I don't know.
I
What
know
do you think?
the most crucial. Yeah, we're getting choked to death when we wake up.
The end of an era.
I don't know if I'm making music and I'm releasing music, which I thought was an impossibility in my life. Then no, it's pretty. The thing's gotta be pretty good.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, yeah,
Johnny sold 40 CDs of it. He's good. We're good. It's all good,
yeah. Yeah. And what about all your videos on Instagram? I'm checking. I always like to check
Oh,
my
which ones do you
Instagram.
see, my friend? Tell me. I forget what I put up there because I'm just trying to, trying to get it out.
This reels. In one of them, you're talking in Spanish even. Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I was called into an Argentine radio station. Was playing some of my
Oh, cool.
music, and the guy like
Hmm.
literally had one of those things, the thing, because he's from smoking. It's like a
Uh-huh.
voice thing. It literally is.
Yeah.
It's true. It's not even a gimmick. And
Yeah.
he was, that was so sweet. Like he just was such a fan of this music, and I was like, "Do you understand a word?" Because these like in Mar del Plata and stuff. Like sometimes they don't speak a word of
Mhm,
English. And it's the most adorable thing to me. I was like,
mhm.
just feeling, riding that wave, the vibe of it, man. Thank you so much. And so it was nice. And yeah, a lot of them, I just love nature and flowers, and especially in LA. It's you got to look for it. So it's like, I always like to film weird things that you see growing here because it's when there's a
Uh-huh.
little bit of moisture, it's like everything starts going and blooming again, and it's so
Yeah.
nice. And
Yeah.
then just I love visuals and I love cinema, and most of my music I think is
Absolutely.
probably more inspired by like Nino Rota and like Morricone than anything else.
Do you make yourself those little videos and reels?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like
It's fun, right? Yeah. I love
it's
it too.
fun, and it's just like understanding the medium, and it's
Yeah. Yeah.
I was such a hater on it for forever for no reason because you just get
Mm-hmm.
one of these like I was born without internet, and I didn't have a phone, and we were booking shows without blah blah blah, like like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
this
Yeah. Me
stupid
too. Yeah.
old guy mentality.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's like that was actually my dream as a child, was to make movies, so now I can do it anytime,
Hmm.
so I should take advantage
Yeah.
of it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. It's
just it's
unbelievable, right?
good. And these kids are so talented, man. It's so great the stuff they do, and like you learn so much just from watching some of them, and they're so precise. They're like better than Tarantino, and their movies are
Uh,
shorter too.
yeah.
It's really funny what the TikTok thing does, man. It's like the 20-second
Mm.
like
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
almost has my brain thinking in like how do you make a great 20-second song, like fully
20 seconds
done.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. It's crazy to see how
Mhm.
everything has changed, right? Also,
Yeah,
the
but
media
I
space.
noticed it changing too because I still traveling, even though it's been the bad times, but it's the homogenization of like restaurants and fashion around the world has been really cut in half to me. It's
Hmm.
all almost identical now, whereas before you didn't know what the cool kids were wearing when you got to a new country, and
Yeah.
now it's kind of like yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And I definitely love your Italian flair on all your videos, and so it's pretty cool. The
yeah.
aesthetic of
You can't
it.
shake it, man. I told you, yeah. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my family back home. They're just, some of the best people on earth, and they're having a party right now for no reason. They're cooking pizza for
Cool.
somebody, and it's
Uh-huh.
just a way of life that's not really exists anymore in the United States. It's America is a great homogenizer of culture. So it kind of gets first generation gets wiped away from. Like I don't think
Mhm.
my brothers and sisters, their nephews, or my nieces and nephews, I don't think they'll know how to cook Italian food. I don't think any of that. You know what I'm saying?
Really? Mm.
Yeah, it's just it's a lot of a mixing of everything, and let's say Italian. I
Mhm.
think I'm the last one that speaks it there in the family too.
Mhm.
So it's
Oh, really? Mhm.
practicing still, and it's very hard, very hard when you speak Spanish all day. Switch back onto that one, but it's that's nice though, man. It's really good. You sound like such a happy,
Absolutely.
peaceful man, and I really, really, really appreciate your energy, man. It's really good.
Thank you, man. It's really cool. I just, I enjoy talking to people, and I love technology. So, as I said before, being here in the nature and then trying to have
Yeah,
the
but
latest
that's
technology
you got to
here
get them connected, my
in
friend. If
in
you're
the
gonna
middle
have
of
to
the
do
world.
it, you got to
Yeah,
connect the two. Like the
I think
algorithm is got to get into the jungles
yeah,
one, and it's gonna be the
that,
most beautiful society on earth when that
that
happens.
yeah, that's the fun part of it. Trying to do this. Yeah, it's a nice.
Hmm.
I like to spend my time just, and also making music. I'm also a musician.
Yeah, what are you making, my friend? What kind of stuff do you like to do?
Well, I play bass guitar and I just bought a MIDI keyboard. I have
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
a drum kit also here. So I'm just making some stuff also. Yeah.
If I was you and I had access to the natural acoustics that you have, I would
Yeah.
go in that rainforest with a microphone and Logic, and then
I
transmute it
sure.
to MIDI, and it would be one
Yeah.
of the most lovely sounds on the planet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It
Because
probably sound like death metal, actually. I would guess for some reason. It's so angry. What kind of
is she?
are you like in jungle? Or like you like not electricity or anything?
No, no, no. I do have. I do have.
Yeah,
It was a challenge
hmm.
having internet here. It took me a few months until I work it out. To have
But you
all the
worked for it, and that's probably how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
37.
Oh yeah,
I just
we're almost
turned
identical.
37.
We had to work
Yeah.
for everything. For like me to go, like I would drive 3 hours to see not see a band to go listen to a record that my friend had.
Yeah.
That's it. Like
Yeah.
that was the work for it. And now
Yeah.
it's kind of seems like the internet has got us back to there because there's so much stuff on it
Yeah.
now. You have to
Absolutely.
work for it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
It's
there's
nice to
so many
discover.
good bands and there's so
Mhm.
much good music that like I just need like to hire somebody to tell me what I
There's a
should be
a
listening
whole
to,
bunch of them.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
Spotify does okay sometimes, but
Mhm.
pretty much not. And but
Yeah.
it's so much good stuff, and I'm just so proud of everybody out there that's still making
Yeah. Yeah.
music and still doing it and still for no reason,
I Yeah, I have had pretty cool bands on the podcast, super new
You
bands
have,
also,
man. You said this one that I was listening
from
to. I'm a
Argentina.
lifelong fan of. Is this the Fox
Oh,
Trails?
Foxtails,
They're
Brigade. Yeah.
very strange. I was listening to the
Yeah.
podcast at this cafe, and the
Yeah.
neighbors they're describing are literally people that I was sitting next to.
Yeah.
It's very strange,
Yeah.
but they are so talented. Those kids. Oh my
Yeah.
god, it's blown
Absolutely,
away,
yeah.
blown away.
And really lovely people there. But, we basically also became friends with some of my guys, so it's
Yeah.
really
Will
cool
you
to
come
be there.
anytime you're in Los Angeles? You want to come, my friend?
Yeah,
We'll have a place here to stay,
absolutely.
and there's barely. This is the most English I'll speak this week, so it'll be good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe
Yes.
we can talk a little bit of Spanish now at
Si
the end
quieres,
of
señor.
the
Yeah, yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
Sí, un poco. Está bueno tu
Dime.
español, sí, ¿no?
Más o menos en este momento, sí, es okay.
¿Hablas mucho español, me decías? ¿Trabajas o?
Mm, Porque en este momento estoy trabajando en las cocinas todavía, como un chef. Ujú, ujú.
Okey.
So,
¿Es
no,
un
no
restaurante
mames, estoy hablando todavía.
mexicano?
A full, señor, a full, yeah. Total,
Ajá, un
total mexicano.
restaurante
Yeah.
mexicano. Ujú.
No, 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 no. En Los Ángeles no, hay muchos restaurantes mexicanos, pero solo la gente trabajando ahí son la familia. Pero
Ajá,
todos los cocineros en Los Ángeles son mexicanos. Y yo,
ajá.
no hay otros. So, los restaurantes italianos, los griegos, cualquier
Ujú,
parte del mundo son mexicanos cocinando esta comida.
ujú.
Eh, They're the best chefs on earth, man. They're the best on earth.
Cool.
Mhm.
So you're working there and making music all the time,
I'm
right?
working solamente trabajando por la música, ya, en este momento,
Ajá,
ya.
qué
Ujú.
bien. Yeah, that's a plan. That's really cool.
It's a good plan, right? Yeah, it's very. It keeps me honest, with the decisions.
Is she your sister on one of your videos?
Bonnie,
Maybe?
yeah,
See?
it's
Yeah.
Pinky. I thought you meant
Thank
Bonnie.
you.
Pinky is that's gonna be coming out very soon. So this is it's like
Yeah, yeah.
an Everly Brothers style
Mhm,
duet group that we're
mhm.
doing, and it's kind of that mixed with psychic TV, I would say.
Yeah.
But oh, so I forget that I posted it on Instagram because it's supposed to be a secret. That yeah, but it's yeah. Bonnie is one of the my like lifelong 20 billion centuries. Like I've sung my entire life, but I've been told I've been a terrible singer, and we harmonize together like absolute angels, and it's what keeps me going at night. It's sometimes it's just thinking about harmony singing, and it's my favorite thing to do. Arranging horns and harmony singing is what I will die happily doing.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I also watch your YouTube channel. You
Hmm.
also have a video
Oh
there
my
with
god,
your
I have to take
piano.
care of that. I have not put
Yeah.
it up, but all the rehearsals you got to see then.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I was checking the rehearsals. Pretty cool. Sounds Looks like you're having a lot of fun also there.
Oh yes, it's expensive fun with those boys, but it's good. It's a
Yeah.
lot of fun. No, but it's so good, man. Like it's they're working it out themselves, and basically
Mhm.
I give them a good product, and I guide them as much as I
Mhm.
can, as much as you can herd a cat, like
Yeah.
shepherd a cat, and then they just really they completely up the ante. They completely and in recording music, and this like your expectations are always not met, especially when you're doing it for yourself. You're like, oh, but these
Mhm.
guys, every single time, they just take it to a
Cool.
different level. So the next song is gonna probably be in November with them, and it's like so lovely
Mhm.
because we got a bunch of our Nigerian friends to come play guitar and do
Cool.
the rhythm on
Wow.
it, and
I
it's like
love that.
probably
Yeah.
the most pop accessible one, but also the weirdest one I could have ever did in my life. Because
Really?
honestly, like got away with making them record it, and they're proud African Americans. I got them
Mhm.
to record songs without choruses somehow, trick them into doing this,
Mhm.
and so I just had to give them one that's just pure chorus, a pure hook, and yeah, it's
Mhm.
gonna be so nice, man. It's called Pierrot on Top, and it's just about the
Cool.
the tortured
Nice.
wheel of fortune, up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's gonna be really
Yeah.
nice, man.
Really looking forward to it. So that's the studio that you rent and where you have
Yeah,
recorded
that's like
all the songs?
yeah, it's called King Size Sound, and it's
Mhm.
this guy Dave Trufino runs it, and he was like a big studio guy in Chicago, and then came out here, and he's basically has a studio empire, and I'm basically there. I say basically, I'm gonna get fired if it's a job
Mhm.
interview. Um, and don't say let's say my engineer Celso is one of the most lovely ears of all time, and
Mhm.
he took on this Grand Streets when it was raw files all recorded in different places. I think I had like 9 different studios in one, just because I was traveling,
Mhm.
just trying to get parts done, and he just like he helped me carry that burden of dreams. Like that was a lot of work and a lot of tedious just garbage to make it as great as it did. And so he's there, and he's like works for that company, and so I'm with him wherever he is, and he's my hero for
Mhm.
even sitting down and taking me seriously, because we basically like he had went from being a guy in a band on tour going to South by Southwest to I have a child and a lovely father, and my record
Mhm.
wasn't done yet, so
Mhm.
he had a huge life change and growth, and I was still doing the same, trying to get it, but it got done, and the record grew with me, so it was good.
Mhm.
So if I finished it when it was supposed to be, it
Cool.
would have been such a different beast. But that's going to
Right.
be out in February the 2nd of this coming year. Yeah,
Coming year.
that's the
Mhm.
release date. And it's got one of the most beautiful covers. I can't wait for everyone to see it. I revived this
Really?
old painter he painted covers for Tom Waits's The Hardest Saturday Night, some Tim Buckley records as well. He's just
Uh-huh.
a oil painter, and he just
Uh-huh.
does
Yeah.
lovely, lovely stuff. And I was up in arms for probably about 2 years trying to figure out how I was going to get this cover done. And then sometimes, you just don't think enough. And I was like, oh, maybe this guy's still alive and I can figure out, because it's like a take on in the wee small hours, this cover, in that as
Mhm.
is Tom Waits's Hard Saturday Night. It's just Sinatra kind of beautiful vibe. And I
Mhm.
just started a correspondence with him, and it took me like a couple of months to convince him that I was worthy of him doing it. And yeah,
Nice.
he's basically holding a hostage because he's so old, and he might just keel over before it's done. But it's
Wow.
89%. So yeah,
Wow.
February. It's gonna
Sounds
be
amazing.
nice,
Yeah.
man.
Looking
Yeah,
forward to it. Yeah.
looking forward to
Everybody
getting it
should.
off my shoulders. It's good, nice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Gigi, do you want to play something?
I would love to, man. What kind of stuff do you want to hear? Because I got
Yeah. I
a lot of
mean,
stuff. I could do something really sad. I got this one that I'm just kind of trying to work out right now.
all right.
And would you be interested in hearing that?
Absolutely. Let's hear
Yeah.
it.
All right.
Before we call it a
And
day,
Ivan,
let's
thank you
listen
so
to some
much,
music.
and thank you to
Yeah.
every one of your listeners, especially
Yeah.
mis amigos en Argentina. Gracias por
See,
escuchando. Y esto,
everybody should go
yeah.
out and check out Gigi
Y nos
Santella.
vemos un día. Ah,
Vayan a escuchar Gigi Santella
sí.
y a seguirle en todas
A ver. You just let me know if this is how close I am to this. Is it loud enough for you? It's okay.
Oh, it's perfect. Yep.
All right, I'm just gonna take my headphones off and get into it for a minute. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you for your beautiful music, Gigi. I
Oh,
love it
thank you,
really,
bro. Thank you for
and I
being the
really
podcast
want
and for listening. Actually,
to
it's like
spread it out.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
like this.
Cool, man.
My life by the blue little reverie. Like so many men before, baby, I was sure you could not make a fool of me. Oh, foolishly I fell for that same old smiling mask you wore. Oh, made certain to obscure your dual personality. You should come now, ooh, that frowning face of cruel reality. Oh, tragic truth that the tender youth they find so hard to see. I mean, like especially for that very special kind. You know, the one that suffer from the start, stay pure of heart, honey. Only in the end to find that their poor little souls play nothing but them minor roles in some meaningless little mystery. Quickly forgot this history. Now I can't claim you'll be rewarded for life's pleasures you've avoided, but I know the same fate awaits the wickedest does the kind. The awful toll each takes upon the mind. They say now our family will break, then it's time for you to make amends for your mistakes and say goodbye. Unremarkable goodbye. Unremarkable, though you try. I know you try. Hey man, never mind it. Perhaps the gods be blind. Don't sin seen enough just to waste their time. For each benign little iniquity. No, ain't nothing left for me now. Oh, that smiley face, nor the frown. Just the endless space that stretches in between. Already hear that awful sound of the grave digger breaking ground. My final card remains there to the same. Oh, I know it's far too late to claim that great celestial prize. But as death draws near, you know you're gonna hear me scream. Never dies the dream. Never dies the dream. Though my spirits be falling, cloud peace she keeps calling, calling me. And as I lay me down to sleep, ain't a goddamn thing in this world to keep me sane, keep me strong, keep me from things I done wrong. That's alright, man. Back of my mind, I still got a few chords left, few chords and sweet. Lord, ain't it sweet? Melody of a song, keep me hanging on, right there, right between 13 and the devil. Best time to keep it level. Maybe just time, maybe just time. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Goodbye to you, Joe. Da, 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 da. That's all I got, man. Thank you for
All
listening,
right,
though.
awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you
Appreciate
so
it,
much,
brother.
Gigi.
You
Yeah,
guys
me
be
too.
well down there, be safe down in Ecuador, and
Yeah,
I hope to
you
meet you
too,
someday,
man.
Ivan.
Absolutely,
You're
me
my
too.
hero, my
All
friend.
right,
You're my hero.
thank you.
Really, truly.
All right,
Thank you,
see you
brother.
then. Bye. Thank you for being here.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye. Ciao.
Bye.
Adios.
Ciao.